Hello everyone, my name is Jason and I am an ISFP. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel, My ISFP Journey. I would ask kindly if you would please subscribe to my channel and continue to follow along as I make more and more videos. In my previous video, I talked about the first two, not that they go in any particular order, but I talked about two of the judging functions, introverted and extroverted thinking. And in this video, I'm going to continue this short series on the cognitive functions, but I'm going to talk about the other two judging functions, introverted and extroverted feeling. Now, introverted and extroverted thinking, which I discussed in my previous video, are primarily concerned with what is true or what is false. Introverted and extroverted feeling are more concerned with what is good and what is bad, or what is valuable and what is worthless, or something somewhere in between. So introverted and extroverted feeling concern themselves with the right and the wrong, the good and the bad. Introverted feeling, like introverted thinking, if you go back and watch my thinking video, you'll pick up more of what I'm talking about here. But introverted thinking determines the value of something or the lack of value of something, the goodness of something or the badness of something, if you will, or the rightness or wrongness of something, largely or primarily by its own internal framework. So for someone who is making a decision on whether or not they value something, if that person is using introverted feeling to make that judgment, then that person is going to make that judgment largely irrespective of what the group has to say about that particular whatever it is. So if you remember, if you saw the previous video, the group in as I'm defining it could theoretically be every other human being on planet Earth. But more often it's my group, okay? So if I'm trying to make a judgment on whether or not I value something, there are, no matter who I am, no matter what my personality type is, there are those people that throughout my life I have come to trust, or those people that I associate myself with. So again, that could be my family. That could be my peers. It could be my coworkers. It could be people who have some letters at the end of their name, like PhD, right? It could be the people that I go to church with. It could be whatever group I consider myself a part of, or whatever group of people I respect. That is usually what I mean when I'm referring to the group. So introverted feeling makes decisions about the value of an idea or of a thing or of a person or whatever. And that decision to value something or not value it is a decision that the user of introverted feeling comes to on his or her own. It isn't influenced by the group. Now, it's not to say that somebody who is a high user of introverted feeling, like myself, introverted feeling is my hero function. It's my primary function, or my dominant function, some would call it. It's not to say that I don't care at all about what the group says, all right? I care, but if I have come to the conclusion that something is valuable, then it's going to be really hard to dissuade me from that opinion. Or if I have decided that something is wrong, if there's a particular behavior that people are practicing in, and I have come to the conclusion that that behavior is, immoral, that it's wrong, that it is bad, then whether my group agrees with me or not, I'm probably going to just go on saying, no, it's bad. And I'm not going to be terribly concerned. I'll listen, especially the more that I respect the group, the more I'll listen to the group. But at the end of the day, I'm really making my own judgment on the rightness or wrongness of the thing, the value or the worthlessness of the idea or the thing that's in question. Now let's contrast that with extroverted feeling. Extroverted feeling is making its value judgments, and they are heavily influenced by the group. Now again, I'm not saying if 51% of people on planet Earth say one thing, that people with high extroverted feeling are automatically going to go, yeah, I agree with that. No, people with high extroverted feeling are not mindless souls that just go on saying, well, I don't know what I value. I need a group of people to tell me. No, it's not that. But if a person with high extroverted feeling values in general the ideas and the opinions of a certain group, then what that group has to say is going to weigh very heavily on that person. So someone with lead or parent or, let me rephrase that, someone with lead or hero extroverted feeling, or even secondary or parent extroverted feeling, those people are going to be, they're going to be very concerned about what their group values, what their group believes is right, and what their group believes is wrong. Now, for someone like me who has introverted feeling as my hero function, I can't help but want to say, now I'm not saying that extroverted feeling is bad, because to me it comes off sounding bad when I describe it. But to someone with high extroverted feeling, they would probably think that the way I describe introverted feeling sounds like it's not a great thing. What do you mean? You just don't even care what anyone else thinks, right? You just make up your own mind. The reality is that largely that is the truth. Oftentimes I find, as someone with hero introverted feeling, that what I consider to be right or wrong, it's of my own accord, and I'm not particularly swayed by what the group says. Now, there is more to extroverted feeling than just making value judgments and moral judgments and deciding what is right or wrong. There is an emotional side to it. So when we hear feeling, a lot of times we do think about feelings, like my feelings got hurt, or I'm emotional, or I cry, or anything of that nature, or you can really see my emotions, like I really show it. But what you have to understand about that is that's really not the heart and soul of the feeling functions. Everyone has emotion. Everyone shows their emotions sometimes they don't. But I will say that there is an emotional component to it. But the heart and soul of the feeling function as a judging function is that it is the part of our mind, or it is the aspect of our mind that we are using to judge whether or not we believe something to be right or wrong. Not true or false necessarily. That's the thinking function. Try to distinguish between true and false, which can also be said right or wrong, right? 2 + 2 is 5. Well, that's wrong. It's also false, okay? So maybe right or wrong aren't the right words. Let's rephrase it. The thinking function is concerned with true or false. The feeling function is concerned with good or bad. The feeling function is concerned with this is valuable to me or this is not. So when we start talking a lot about, not that I'm going to in these videos, I'm not going to lay my political or my political ideologies out on the table, or what I believe on certain issues. But when we start talking about issues of politics or of ethics, that's where we really get into the feeling functions. That's where we're deciding, do I believe that this is a good thing, or do I believe that this is a bad thing? And the thinking functions will be more concerned with, well, is it accurate or is it inaccurate? Does it work or does it not work? The introverted judging functions, both introverted thinking and introverted feeling, are very concerned with coming to these conclusions of true, false, good, bad on their own. Okay, so if I'm using my FI or my TI, which I'm not using my TI very often, but for a person who is using their FI, introverted feeling, their TI, introverted thinking, they're coming to these conclusions, these judgments, largely of their own system that exists within their mind, a system that you can't see and that they may or may not be able to express well, okay, through words. Whereas the person who's using extroverted feeling or extroverted thinking, they're, in a sense, they're borrowing, and I don't in any way want to suggest that they don't have their own thoughts, or that they don't think things through on their own, or that they just listen to a group and go, yeah, that's what I think. No, it's not that, but they see great value and great use in considering and taking in and being affected by, on extroverted feeling side, by the value judgments of the group that they respect, or on the thinking side, the pragmatism of the group that they respect, the intelligence of the group that they respect. So feeling, is it right? Is it good or is it bad? Is it valuable or is it worthless? Thinking, is it true or is it false? Is it accurate or is it inaccurate? Introverted feeling and thinking, I will come to these conclusions through my own system inside my mind. And extroverted thinking and extroverted feeling, I will be heavily influenced and care a lot about the value judgments and the thinking of the group that I respect. I hope you find this useful. Please leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. If there's anything that you would word differently. I do not pretend to be an expert on this. I have read a lot. I've listened to a lot of people talk on these subjects, and I've observed people to see where I see things, showing themselves to be reality in the lives of people that I know. So I am not a psychologist. I'm not an expert. Haven't been to school for these issues. But I do think that I've been able to observe a lot and pick up some good insights along the way. But I'd be interested to know what you think. Please do hit like, and especially if you found this video useful, and please subscribe to my channel. And my next videos will be on the perceiving functions: introverted intuition, extroverted intuition, introverted sensing, and extroverted sensing. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a fantastic day. Bye now.